Are you sure your parents don't mind my staying for spring break? I mean, they've never met me.
Of course not. Look, I know you're a little nervous, but you have nothing to worry about. They're always saying they'd like to meet some of my college buddies, and they enjoy having guests.
I know, but for a whole week? What if they don't like me?
My parents like everyone. You'll be fine, honestly.
Do I look okay? I haven't changed clothes since I left Toronto, and that was 12 hours ago.
Seriously? Come on, you don't have to impress anyone. Oh, look, here they are now. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. This is Bradley.
Hello, Bradley. I'm David. It's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And this is my mom, Alicia.
Hello. It's great to meet you, Bradley. Fausto has told us so much about you.
It's nice to meet you too, Mrs. Bianchi.
Oh, Alicia, please. Mrs. Bianchi makes me feel so old. Now, I'm sure you're hungry after such a long trip.
I could eat.
Fausto, I was asking your friend.
Well, actually, I'm pretty hungry, thanks. I didn't have much to eat on the bus. Oh, I nearly forgot. I brought these flowers for you.
Tulips. Thank you.
Fausto said they're your favorite.
Actually, roses are her favorite.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have misheard.
Don't worry, dear. They're beautiful.
Come in and have a seat, Bradley.
Oh, thank you.
Would you excuse me for a moment? I just need to check on the food.
Of course. Is there anything we can do to help?
Oh no, it's all under control.
So, David, you must be excited about the soccer game this afternoon. Fausto tells me you're a big fan.
I'm not really into soccer, to be honest.
Oh,
Dad's a big fan of golf.
oh, I see. Sorry.
Fausto, do you think you could give me a hand in here?
Sure.
So, do you play golf?
No. I don't know anything about it, really. So you're an accountant?
An architect, actually.
Oh, I imagine that's very interesting.
Here's dinner.
Oh, this looks delicious.
It's my own recipe.
Ooh, what's in it?
Chicken and mushrooms.
Oh,
Is something wrong?
Bradley's a vegetarian.
and I'm allergic to mushrooms too. I'm so sorry.
What? Fausto, why didn't you tell us?
I told you last week. I can't believe you forgot.
Oh, that's right. It must have slipped my mind. I'm really sorry, Bradley. Let me make you a salad or something.
A salad would be great. Thanks.
Are you okay? You look a little upset.
I'm all right. I just feel bad about today.
What do you mean?
Well, I kept getting everything wrong. The flowers, your dad's job, golf, and I couldn't even eat the food your mom made. They must think I'm so rude.
Oh, don't worry about that. None of it was your fault. And my parents really liked you.
You think so?
Yeah. They said they were happy I had such nice friends in Toronto.
Really? Oh, that's a relief. I thought I'd made a pretty bad impression. I was thinking of getting a hotel in town.
Don't be silly. They'll love having you stay here for spring break.
Oh, good. Thanks.
Anyway, the soccer match is about to kick off. Do you want to come downstairs and watch it?
Is your dad watching too? I feel a little embarrassed after what I said.
Dad? No. He went out to play golf.
So, you're going to Florida, Rosanna. Lucky you. It must be nice and warm. Not like here.
Yes, it's about 30 degrees, I think.
I'm so jealous. Where are you staying? In a hotel?
No, we have an apartment near Miami Beach with a swimming pool. It actually belongs to my cousin, but she's going to Europe, so she said we could use it while she's away. And her car.
And her car? Wow, she must like you a lot.
Well, yes, it's really generous of her. It means we're just paying for the flight. We couldn't afford it otherwise, not with the four of us.
So, what are you going to do? Are you going to travel around?
Well, it depends on the weather. It's hurricane season, so it might be really windy. But we'll probably go to the beach for a start. We all like swimming. Lisa, my daughter, she's really into wildlife. She wants to go to the Everglades and see the alligators, so we'll definitely do that. And of course, we're going to have to go to Disney World for a day. I don't really want to, but Mark, that's my son, he wants to go there and he wants to go on all the rides.
Oh, come on. It might be fun. You'll enjoy it.
Maybe so.
Sounds like you're going to be busy anyway.
Yeah. Oh, and my husband says we have to go to Cape Canaveral. He wants to see the Apollo rockets, so I guess we'll spend a couple of days doing that. I don't really want to go there. It's so far away. I'm not sure I can cope with so much driving. But there's no point in arguing with him about it. Once he gets an idea in his head...
So, you're doing everything your family wants to do. What about you? What do you want to do?
Me? Oh, I just like to relax and do nothing. Sit by the pool and read a few books.
Well, it sounds like you're going to be too busy. You won't have time for that.
No, probably not.
Welcome to Pod on Pod, the podcast about podcasts. Today we're talking to a fan from New York. Hey, Andrea.
Hey.
So, when you got in touch, you said you listened to a lot of podcasts. So, how did you start?
Well, I guess you could say that the worst part of my day used to be my commute between home and work, 45 minutes each way on the subway. And trying to make the commute more pleasant is how I got into podcasts. I mean, they'd been around for a while, and I think I'd listened to a few podcasts about cooking at home on my computer. And I knew that you could download them onto your cell phone, but I had never really bothered.
So, why did you suddenly start downloading?
One day, a couple of years ago, I was bored with all my music. Nothing I wanted to listen to.
Know the feeling.
So anyway, I checked out the available podcasts on my way to the subway station and downloaded a half-hour comedy episode. It was really funny, and it was difficult not to laugh out loud on the subway. People were giving me such strange looks.
Like, who's the crazy woman?
Yeah, but the trip to work took no time at all.
'Cause you were entertained.
Yeah, that's the thing. When I got home that night, I took a really good look at the kinds of things that are available and discovered there's, well, just about anything you could want. So, each day as I'm walking to the subway station, I listen to a news podcast. It's easier to concentrate on the day's news once I'm out of the house.
Is that all you listen to in the morning?
Well, no. After the news, it kind of depends on my mood. If I'm having one of those days when the idea of going to work isn't a good one, then I listen to comedy to cheer me up. But other days, I might listen to a current events podcast. One of my hobbies is baking bread. It's something I love to do on weekends. There are a whole lot of podcasts on baking bread with different ideas and recipes. They're really interesting.
Do you listen to any podcast series?
Oh yeah, I love them, like some of those crime stories. And every day you're waiting for the next episode to be uploaded. You can get really addicted to a podcast series.
Anything else you listen to?
Well, one other thing. Podcasts can be useful for my job. I've worked for a charity organization for the past 4 years. We raise funds for the developing world. And there are also podcasts about that. Different projects, different ways of raising money, things like that. I've picked up some really helpful ideas by listening to podcasts.
Thanks for sharing, Andrea. And keep listening. If we're not sure where to eat, what laptop to buy, or where to stay on vacation, most of us read customer reviews. Recent research has shown that 90% of customers read online reviews and that for nearly 70%, a positive review will make them more likely to buy a product. But can we trust online reviews? And how do we know if they are real or fake? We asked John Higgins, professor of digital marketing at the University of Wisconsin. John, are most reviews genuine?
Well, maybe 80% of the time, yes, they are, but I wouldn't say 100%. I mean, if you think about it, you're running a cafe or a small hotel. If you can get a lot of positive reviews, you're going to get more customers. And not only that, you're going to get more hits when people look on review sites. So you can ask customers to give you a good review.
Nothing wrong with that, is there?
No, not at all. But that may not be very effective because customers usually promise to write a good review and then they forget all about it. And, of course, you can't really persuade a customer to write a review for you. It's up to them. So what often happens is that small companies get their employees to write reviews, or friends and members of their family. Or they may even pay people to write fake reviews. This is known as opinion spam, and, of course, that is against the law. But it certainly happens. In one study in Australia, they found websites that were offering to write 10 positive reviews for $85, and they also found ads put out by restaurants that were trying to improve their ratings on review sites.
What? Offering money for positive reviews?
Yes, some restaurants have said quite openly that they want to get good ratings, and they'll pay money for them.
Incredible. But companies must be fighting that.
Oh yes, they are. Companies like Amazon are very active in catching fake reviewers.
But can they do anything?
Well, they can warn them not to continue, and they can threaten to take them to court. In some cases, Amazon has actually taken fake reviewers to court, and they've had to pay a fine. And websites like TripAdvisor and Yelp have tracking systems that can filter out false reviewers.
How does that work?
Well, their system analyzes the information that's coming in. Then, if anything's suspicious, they have a team of experts who look at it more closely. It's a bit like the way a bank checks security, and TripAdvisor claims that it works really well.
So, we can still trust online reviews?
I would say so, yes, but maybe not too much. I would certainly recommend reading both the good and the bad reviews, not just the good ones. And I'd also advise people to read the review carefully to see what they really say. Do they just say, "The staff are very friendly," or do they say something more personal like, "We arrived late in the evening, but they gave us something to eat"?
So a personal, detailed comment is more likely to be genuine?
Yes, exactly.
Today's the big interview, right?
That's right. I'm just going over my resume and portfolio one last time.
Do you get nervous for these kinds of things?
Not usually, but I really want this position. Writing for an online news organization like Worldwide News is my dream job.
I hope it goes well.
I'm heading out. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
And finally, what kinds of stories do you enjoy writing the most? You have a couple of features about children with learning disabilities in your portfolio.
I'm really proud of those pieces, thanks. I find writing features about people can be really rewarding, especially if the story helps bring them more recognition. But I think on the whole, I prefer writing about current events, politics, and that sort of thing. It's so satisfying when you manage to get a story that no one has written about yet. A scoop.
Of course. Well, that's all the questions I have. Do you have any questions for me?
Actually, yes, I do. The job description mentions opportunities for career development. Could you tell me a little more about that?
Of course. As a rule, for example, our newest political writers tend to write about either city politics or state politics first, moving up to national politics eventually. It generally takes a couple of years of writing at the local level before we'll put someone on a national story.
Okay. And there's some travel involved in the job, isn't there?
Yes, typically our writers take turns covering stories around the country. We sent writers to Washington and LA last week. In Washington, the writer even had a private question and answer session with the president.
That sounds fantastic.
Well, if you have no more questions, it was very nice to meet you, Miss Menendez.
Thank you so much for taking the time to interview me. I'm very interested, and I hope you'll consider me.
Thank you. We'll be in touch soon.
So, how did it go?
Pretty well, I think, on the whole. But it was much more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I was there for around 2 hours.
Wow, that long?
Yeah. There was one question I didn't know how to answer, but otherwise, yeah, I think it went pretty well.
What was the question?
Oh, it was something about my opinion of some famous journalists, what I thought of their style. I'm not very good at stuff like that.
Did you find out much about the job?
Yeah, she told me quite a lot about it. It sounds great. There's some travel, and the atmosphere in the office seems really nice.
When will you find out if you get the job?
Well, they don't usually tell you during the interview, but... Hang on. I just got an email.
Is it from Worldwide News? What does it say?
Just a second. Dear Miss Menendez, we would like to inform you that... Yes! I got it! I got it! I'm the newest Worldwide News employee!
Wow, that's fantastic. I knew they would hire you.
Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to start.
People were commenting online recently about an 11-year-old boy from Manchester in England who flew to Rome on his own. He was out shopping with his mother at a shopping center near Manchester Airport, and while she was busy looking at something, he slipped away and walked into the airport. Of course, he had no money or anything. He was only 11 years old, but he followed a family who was going on vacation and no one noticed him. Everyone thought he was part of that family. Incredibly, he managed to get through security. It seems that no one noticed he didn't have a boarding pass, and they even let him get on the plane. Normally, of course, they check your boarding pass when you get on, but I guess they just thought he was with the family. Anyway, they let him on, and he found an empty seat somewhere. They normally count the passengers to make sure they have the right number. But it seems either they didn't do it this time or they didn't do it correctly. So the plane took off and he flew to Rome. Then, luckily, when he got to Rome, they found out he was on his own without a passport, and they put him on the next flight back to Manchester. Naturally, his mother was extremely worried about him, and she complained about it. Both the airline and the airport admitted it was their fault immediately, and they promised to look at their security. And they even offered her a free flight. It's incredible that he managed to get through security without anyone noticing. But apparently, it happens often, and it's almost always boys of about that age, between 11 and 14, who want to go on a plane.